Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Bloodthirsty Thursday. Yes, 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 folks. It is already Thursday, almost TGIF. First and foremost, I do hope each and every one of you are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life is too short as is. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing each and every one of you every Monday through Friday, both new faces and old. And then also look in the description box for more information on the film of the day, such as your basic synopsis, your starring cast, your director, the runtime of the cut I am watching, along with an MPAA rating if there is one, which 9 times out of 10 I don't have one on there. And then there's going to be maybe some trivia if I find anything worthwhile, and then there's going to be a link for a trailer or a scene in there, which I have a link for a trailer in there because this one is been recently re-released. It's one that it had eluded me for years, and I am very, very happy I didn't fold and buy a bootleg of it, because this one is the most definitive release of it, and it's probably one of my favorite releases of the last few weeks that I've purchased. This one and the I Spit on Your Grave set. Oh. But anyways, this one came out back in 1980, so it's 4 years old now, and is none other than Primitives. Yes, 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 starring Enny, Haryono, Barry Prima, Johann York, or Johann Marojono, Ruckman, Herman, Jafar, Free York, Yayuck, Suseno, Novita, Rais, Yoestein, blah, 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 yeah. This is directed by Sisworo, Gautama, Putra. Yeah, I know I murdered each and every one of those names, and I am very, very, very sorry from the bottom of my heart on that. But, yes, this is the release from Severin Films. If you can see the nice little logo down there, it is a standard issue pressed Blu-ray. You get a nice little piece of artwork there, and it is also a reversible artwork where you can get it under the Savage Terror label, or not label, but Savage Terror artwork on that one, which is nice. I prefer the Primitives artwork above it, and there is a interview with the producer and the screenwriter. So there is a couple little interviews on there. Not a lot of special features, but a couple of little tidbits to give you a bigger taste of the movie. I'll give you a little behind the scenes, but nothing too deep that I noticed. It was a nice. It was an okay interview. It could have been much more to it. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to it, to what this movie is about exactly. It is about a group of college students who are heading to where is it? Indonesia, I believe, is where this is. This is based out of. I think so, but either way, they're going to the jungles to look for these primitives that are tribes people that are stuck in old times, that don't have any kind of modern luxuries, things like that. Because some of the tribes going along the way, the closer to the cities and closer to the riverbeds, they tend to be a little more advanced than the ones like what we are dealing with in here. Which, by the way, this is probably one of the biggest ripoffs of Jungle Holocaust, in my opinion. It reminds me of that so much. Almost, if you put them side by side in places, they would almost go together. There is some interesting stuff on that, but back to what it was. It's these college students that are heading to this jungle to study the primitives. They find this rough and rugged guide to take them down there. His name's Bismarck. They take Bismarck in. They're going down the river, and their raft rolls into some rapids, and the raft is destroyed. So therefore, they are stranded there in the jungles of Indonesia, or wherever they're at. They're stuck in the jungles. So it gets pretty hairy from there on. It starts off a little bit slow, but it only takes about 10-15 minutes before it starts to really pick up. So definitely keep that in mind. It's does have a few slow lulls in it, a few things where I got a little bored, but not enough to make me dislike the movie or to turn it off. It is definitely a lower tier of the cannibal films. Considering this is not an Italian film, it is Indonesian's version of an Italian cannibal film. So keep that in mind as well. So, like I said, there's this whole thing like Jungle Holocaust thing, and if you guys have seen that, there's I did review that once before. That is a really good movie. I forget who Massimo something like that. I can't remember his name now all of a sudden, but either way, there's a whole thing with this tribe staying in a cave, which is what is very similar to the Jungle Holocaust, where it's open, big open inside cave where there's a nice cage for the prisoners, which they capture two of the three. Of the three college students. One of them there's five of them in total. One of their guides, I forget what his name was exactly. He was one of the first casualties of the movie. He steps on the a tripwire thing, which in turn makes the tree full of spikes come hit him, and then it knocked him back into more spikes, which in turned the tripwire was looped around his feet, and it pulls him up in the air. So it's a triple dog on that one. You know, you get triple killed. It is definitely overkill at its finest, and I absolutely loved that. It was the part that was where it starts to really pick up and get some momentum going. And then after that, so they're stuck out in the middle of nowhere. The two of the three college students are captured by the primitives and taken back to this cave to be later eaten, or whatever it is their intentions were. But they the third guy, Tom is his name. He's this goofy looking dude wearing overalls, but he is off on his own, and he's trying to find them. He's trying to find somebody to help him because he's got a big old gash on the top of his head. He hit his head on the rocks when he was going through that massive rapids, but he's looking for help. That Bismarck guy is out on his own. They eventually come across each other, both Tom and Bismarck. But Bismarck ends up he's coming across these shallows in the water, and he gets attacked by a gator or a croc or whatever it is. I'm sure it's a croc. But either way, he was killed, and in a very funny fashion. He didn't go down without a fight. He was stabbing the shit out of that gator. I will give him that. But he gets a quick. He's off. There's a funny whole thing where the gators, the crocs, they hit you with their tail. As a matter of fact, one of the hunting trips the primitives go, they bring a little monkey along, it looks like a little capuchin or something like that. Bring him along, and they have him tied up on a branch in the water to help draw in the crocs, so they can kill one and have it for dinner. In turn, here comes the croc and the monkey stuck in the little tree here, and here comes the croc. Instead of taking a big old bite onto it, it slaps it with his tail. I laughed until I cried when that scene came up, because it made zero sense why, like, it cut right there, boom, and all of a sudden onto them eating this or chopping up this croc to eat it. It's kind of there's a lot of little wonky things like that in this movie. There's one part when they get to the very end and they've escaped. The primitives won't cross the river, which is, it's one of those things I kind of laughed at as well. If they want you, if they've hunted you that far, they're going to keep going. That's the way I look at it. And they're like, oh, we'll build a raft. And then so they build a raft in like 2 seconds flat, while Tom is there hallucinating about different things, such as going down a giant slide, eating some ice creams, making out with a girl, things of that nature. You know, he's having a nice little hallucination, basically seeing the light before he dies, because he does die. Just to let you know, not everybody lives. Duh. But it's still worthwhile to watch, because there's enough fun things going on in through here, especially if you're a fan of the Italian cannibals subgenre. You will like this one. I have a very strong feeling you would, because it fits in there perfect. It even has some funky soundtrack going on there. You had the very beginning. You start off with some craft work with a robot or roboter, whatever the name of it is. But you got some craft work at the very beginning of it, which is nice and funky. I dug it. But overall, this is a blast of a movie, and I can't say anything really, not a whole lot of bad about it, other than there's little plot gaps like what I've told you so far. It does have an okay momentum. It doesn't really lag a whole lot, but there are places where it does kind of get a little jumbled in their um having they're not delivering exactly what it is. It's not as solid as these other parts of the movie, because there are parts of it that are absolutely solid. Like, I love all the stuff when they're in the cave with the primitives. It's very cool. Like, there's a scene that just makes you go wow, where they pull out a orangutan and they smash it over the head. Yes, you do not see it, so do not go in here thinking you're going to see an orangutan get his head smashed. Thank Jesus they did not show that, because I would have been like, are you fucking kidding me type moments. But animal cruelty is what it is when it came to these old films. There is a little bit of it. Like, there's a python eating, or an anaconda eating, it's, I can't tell the difference, either or. It's a constrictor eating a iguana, komodo dragon looking type creature. There is also a very sad scene where a jaguar is getting ripped to shreds by these two crocs. Very tough to watch that scene, I'm not gonna lie. Being a cat fan myself, I'm not a huge cat man, but it was enough to make me a little sad for that guy. Anyways, let's move on to the ratings of this one. As far as on a technical side, like I've said, it has some dull parts in it, much like my reviews, some dull parts, but the acting it's okay. I know that one of the main stars was like a martial arts actor, a very prominent one of his time. So you got a guy who does martial arts movie being your biggest star in this movie. Which actors in those films don't tend to be Oscar worthy. But then again, I don't watch movies for Oscar worthy performances. I watch cheesy, schlocky, gory, nasty, sleazy movies, and I like it that way. And this one definitely fits on the sleaze factor. There's no nudity in it, just to let you know, but there is a scene where you see a little boy's pee pee. He pees over. He is standing there peeing on our male lead, which is this fella right here. He's the one that is stuck in this cage throughout the whole time, basically, and they treat him like pure crap. She's eventually allowed to go in there with him. Nothing that there's no like weird sexy stuff going on, so don't go in here expecting nudity or boobies or anything like that. So keep that in mind. If you're for that part of the sleaze factor, it is lacking in that part, in that department. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 as far as the technical side, and not just because of that. It's mostly because of the dull parts in the movie, and some of the plot holes are a little hard to look over. Like the whole thing, like I said about them not crossing the river, just really blew my mind. Like, really? They came this far and they're just gonna, okay, all right, I'll shake my fist at you and walk away. I call horse shit. But either way, it's still cool. I dig it. So on an entertainment side, this thing's probably a 3 out of 5. This is like a 4 or a 5 out of 10 kind of movie. It's middle of the road, kind of below average when it comes to the cannibal subgenre, but it works. I will give it that. It works, and it is effective in places, especially the animal cruelty stuff. Definitely makes it feel like one of those Italian cannibal movies. Yeah, 4 or 5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm gonna give that to that, and I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Tomorrow I got a beast lined up. It's been hard for me not to review the tomorrow's movie all week long, because every day of the week I'm like, oh, I'm gonna review that. No, I'm saving it for Friday. But so tomorrow I got an amazing film for you. One that is extremely grimy, sleazy. One will stick to your mind for a long time, because it is so good. All right, guys, love your faces.